I'm Orestria, and I'm playing Pheonix Wright, Ace Attorney, again. Last time, we realized that we're in a bizarre world where the legal system works completely different than anything I've ever seen, in which me, as the attorney, in fact, I wasn't even officially her attorney for most of the time, was doing forensics. And I had to cajole police into giving me things that they absolutely should give the attorney. And the trial happens like one day. Like, the crime happened at like 9 p.m. and the trial's happening like the day after the, like, anywho, that's where we're at. And we finished the pre-trial scrounging, and now we're starting the actual trial. Also, it's fucking hot in my room, but still not hot enough to use the AC, so here I am. Like, the crime happened 9 p.m. September 5th, and it's like September 7th. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Maya Fey. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Miles Edgeworth. I'd better not show any signs of weakness today, or he'll be on me in an instant. This is my second court trial, and it's like 3 days after my first. Mr. Edgeworth, please give the court your opening statement. Thank you, Your Honor. The defendant, Miss Maya Fey, was at the scene of the crime. The prosecution has evidence she committed this murder, and we have a witness who saw her do it. The prosecution sees no reason to doubt the facts of this case, Your Honor. I see. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Let's begin then. If we may call our first witness, Your Honor. The prosecution calls the chief officer at the scene, Detective Gumshoe. He's a real winner. Please state your name and profession to the court. Sir, my name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm the detective in charge of homicides down at the precinct, sir. Well, convenient that you were the person called in. Detective Gumshoe, please describe for us the details of this murder. Very well, sir. Let me use this floor map of the office to explain. The body was found by the window here, and the cause of death, loss of blood due to being struck by a blunt object, sir. The murder weapon was a statue of the thinker found next to the body, sir. It was heavy enough to be a deadly weapon, even in a girl's hands. Being as I am a girl the size of a guy, stuff like that just always makes me nuts. Gah. Surprise sneeze. I remember I was working at Walmart. I'm 5'11", 175 pounds. I was working at Walmart, and I was in the self-checkout lane. So the cashiers, you don't have one line for each register. You have a big line, and it goes to registers. So there's one cashier. His name is Storm. He's 5'8", and I don't know how much he weighs, but he's scrawny. High schooler. And the lady at customer service calls me over. And I go over there, and she's like, hey, when Storm's done with his customer, can you ask him to come over here? We need him to lift this air conditioner. And I look at her. And I look at Storm. If this was wrestling, I'm like at least a weight class, if not 2 weight classes up on Storm. I look back to the girl, pick up the air conditioner, put it on the counter, and go back to my register. Anyway. Sorry for the tangent. I'm not sorry at all. I love telling that story. They're still calling it a statue. Floor plans are added to the court record. Now, detective. You immediately arrested Miss Maya Fey, who was found at the scene, correct? And thus didn't do any kind of actual investigation, meaning this whole trial is a complete farce, correct? Can you tell me why? Yes, sir. I had hard evidence she did it, sir. Detective Gumshoe. Please testify about this hard evidence. As soon as the phone call came in, I rushed to the scene. There were 2 people there already, the defendant, Miss Maya Fey, and the lawyer, Mr. Pheonix Wright. I immediately arrested Miss Maya Fey. Why? We had a witness account describing her. The witness saw Miss Maya Fey at the very moment of the murder. So, witness testimony is not hard evidence. Pretty much ever. Like, keeping in mind that the lady in the hotel doesn't know Maya. And we're about to find out later that you can't really see the faces from the hotel anyway. But there's just always a risk when you have a witness that they're not going to be able to identify the person correctly. Especially because something like witnessing a murder, you're not in this like calm, rational, I'm going to examine that person's face mode. You know, you're like, oh my god. Anyway. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examine what? I couldn't see a contradiction in that testimony. Maya just threw something at me. When my sister couldn't find any contradictions... We're just passing notes in court now? She would bluff it and press the witness on every detail. The witness always slips up and says something wrong. It worked lots of times. Good thing Maya is a better lawyer than me, who's actually a fucking lawyer. We don't have, like... The scuffle looks more like it happened not inside of the window than inside of the window. When we were at the hotel, we said that I don't think I could see a face from there, but we don't have an evidence to present. So, press? Does that mean, like, grill him about something? Well, then I'm not doing for this. That's factual. I think this might be too early. You had hard evidence. You did. You said it, you said it, you said it. What about this suspicious woman in pink's claim was hard evidence? Miss May isn't suspicious and she sure isn't pink. Okay, she's pink. Do you have any more solid proof other than her claims, detective? I guess pressing can have its advantages. Yes. Sorry, I got the order of things mixed up in my testimony, Your Honor. There was something I should have told you first, Your Honor. Let's have it again. After securing the suspect, I examined the scene of the crime with my own eyes. I found a memo written on a piece of paper next to the victim's body. On it, the word Maya was clearly written in blood. Lab test results show that the blood was the victim's. Also, there was blood found on the victim's finger. Therefore, before she died, the victim wrote the killer's name. That's my hard evidence. Before we begin cross-examination, I have a question. Why didn't you give us this vital piece of evidence the first time? Because I'm real bad at my job, sir. No. I'm not working today. Yeah, I'm talking to my phone. What of it? Fucking lipstick wasn't dry. The defense may begin its cross-examination. Okay. So we don't know the meaning of why she wrote the name on the paper. Like, it's the idea that she wrote her killer's name is conjecture. So we press that. I guess that's like my life bar up there for like fuck-ups. Do you get a lot of cases where the victim actually writes the killer's name? Sure, it happens all the time in books and movies. This isn't a movie. It's a video game. Let's talk about reality, shall we? No, I haven't heard of many cases. Do you find it a little odd that the victim would write down a name? Especially the name of her own sister. Yeah. Stop right there. The witness's opinion on the matter is irrelevant. No, it's relevant because it's his opinion that she wrote the killer's name and not just wrote a name for some reason we don't know. The victim wrote down the name of the accused. Yes. No. Oh, I should have seen if there was a, like, press option there. I don't think there was. It's just this, right? That's his whole testimony. There has to be a contradiction in there somewhere. Let's find it. What? After securing the suspect, I examined the scene of the crime with my own eyes. I found a memo written on a piece of paper next to the victim's body. I wish it showed, like, the body in the paper, too. Oh! She died instantly. Detective Gumshoe, there's one thing I want you to clarify for me here. You say that the victim wrote this note, that she was accusing the defendant, Maya Fey. That's really what you're saying. This isn't a lawyer trick, is it? Of course she wrote it. Who else could have? You have it backwards, Detective. Backwards? The victim is the only person who could not have written it. This is a report from your department, Detective. Immediate death due to a blow from a blunt object. She died immediately. No butting your way out of this one. Order, order. The defense has a point. Someone who died immediately wouldn't have had the time to write anything down. When exactly did you obtain that autopsy report? I'm the fucking defense. I'm... It's really hard to focus on game logic when the game logic hurts me. I'm not an expert, obviously, but in a real trial, both sides have access to all the information. It's not about, like, surprise evidence that you didn't know about. I can't remember if I got it. I got it the day after the murder. It was 9 p.m. the day of the murder when the murder happened, and I remembered being shocked that it was so fast. That autopsy report is outdated. Yesterday and the day after are the same day. I hate my life. Oh, this morning. Okay. I believe these are both true. Sorry, I stopped reading for a bit there. I'm frustrated. So he asked for a new autopsy report yesterday and got a new autopsy report this morning, which again, I don't get given because why would both sides of the court case have access to all the evidence? And his new autopsy report says there's a possibility she lived for a few minutes afterwards. Obviously, I'm not accusing myself of being a sham. So I'm either accusing him of being a sham or the detective of being a sham. And I'm not sure which one I would want to accuse. I mean, in reality, I think both are true. I don't think I have evidence of either. I don't know. Fuck this detective, though. How could you give me a faulty report? Yay! I insulted the correct person. I'm sorry, sir. You are at fault, detective. This isn't going to look good on your evaluation next month. Does the prosecution witness run the police office? I submit this report to the court. Understood. The court accepts the evidence. The updated autopsy report. May have lived for a few minutes after being hit. The evidence strongly suggests the victim was identifying the killer. I suppose that's the obvious conclusion, yes. This isn't good. Prosecution would like to call its next witness, this poor innocent girl saw the murder with her own eyes. Okay, I'm way more excited for this witness. Let Miss April take the stand. What part of her is innocent? Your name, please. April May. Your service, wink. Good fucking god. Her poor spine. An introduction should not require any reaction from the crowd. The witness will refrain from wanton winking. Aw, yes, Your Honor. God damn. She's already captured the heart of every man in this courtroom. Where were you on the night of September 5th when the murder occurred? I was in my hotel room. I checked in right after lunch. This hotel is directly across from the law office. That's right. Big boy, Christ. Please testify what you saw. It was 9 at night. I looked out the window. I saw a woman with long hair being attacked. The one attacking her was the mousy girl sitting in the defendant's chair. Then the woman dodged to one side and ran away, but the girl, she caught up to her and she hit her. Then the woman with the long hair, she kind of slumped. The end. That's all I saw. Every little bitsy witsy wink. It is remarkably solid testimony. I don't see a need to trouble the witness any. Cross-examination? But I thought the witness's testimony was quite firm, didn't you? Fucking hell. You were Miss Mia Fey's understudy. You must know her techniques well. Her cowardly way of finding tiny faults in perfectly good testimonies. How dare you? Will you cross-examine a witness? Yeah? 'Cause she's full of shit. I will gladly proceed. If only because I feel like Edgeworth doesn't want me to. She has some weaknesses. Begin your cross-examination. It was 9 at night. I looked out the window. Why does this live in my evidence box is the real question. Could I press this and be like, you couldn't really see her face? Women know these things. She is like the only woman in the courtroom right now, isn't she? Goddamn. Well, I guess Maya is somewhere. There was only one person at the scene of the crime with a short, girlish figure. The testimony is bulletproof. That testimony stinks. See, again, it's one of those situations where, like, I know what I want to say, and neither of these options feels right. I do think she's lying. I don't think accusing her of lying makes sense. I don't think she saw literally nothing, but I don't think she saw... well, fuck it. We'll go with your lying. What's the meaning about this? If you'd really witnessed my client, Maya Fey, you would have noticed her clothes before noticing her physique. Ara? Oh. No one wears clothes like this on a daily basis except her. And I'm no expert on fashion, but her hairdo looks far from normal to me. However, the witness's testimony mentions neither of these things. The testimony is bogus. We don't know if she was dressed that way on the night of the murder. She was! I saw her. So did Detective Gumshoe. What do you have to say to that, Miss May? Maybe I should disable screen shake, because it's just, like... I don't hate it in general. In a lot of games I like it, but it's just kind of distracting here. What are you trying to say, you mean lawyer? I saw what I saw. I didn't think all the trifling little details were necessary. The court would like to remind you to omit nothing in your testimony. I'll be a good girl, I promise. Wink. Testimony again, if you would. I almost had her. I did see everything I did. The victim, the woman, dodged the first attack and ran off to the right. Then the girl in the hippie clothes ran after her. And then she hit her with the weapon. I saw it. I did. That clock statue thing, the thinker, I think. I only wish you had been so detailed from the beginning. Please begin the cross-examination. I feel like we're getting to the point where we're supposed to suggest the floor plan. Ran off to the right is not where everything is fucked up. Hell, let's present it now. Fuck it. This evidence clearly reveals contradiction in that statement. How are they related? I disagree entirely. Wow, that took like 2... So that health bar is pointless because it took 2. I disagree though. She ran off to the right. How does she know it's a clock? What you said now was quite revealing. Revealing? You'd like that, wouldn't you? You just said that the statue of the thinker was a clock, but there's no way of knowing that just by looking at it. Another person in much the same position as you recently called this a clock, too, and he was... That's unrelated to the case. Miss May, can you explain how you know this was a clock? The witness saw the murder with her own eyes. That's what's important here. Defense is trying to confuse the issue with trivial concerns. No, I won't. Questions are all I have. As you may recall, I've caught murderers with questions before. Objection sustained. You may continue to question the witness. What happens now? What happens now is you answer my question. How did you know it was a clock? I heard it say the time. So you've been to the law offices. No, I didn't say that. Why would I go there? I heard it from my hotel room. It's very close to the hotel. She could easily have heard the clock. I'm not satisfied because it couldn't have rung. It is inconceivable that the clock in question rang. It's empty. That clock is missing its clockwork. How could you possibly? Just take a look right now. See anything interesting, Your Honor? It is as the defense says. This clock is missing its clockwork. It's quite empty. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain to the court the meaning of this? It is as you can see. The clock was empty. It couldn't have rung. Therefore, this witness is a big, fat liar. Fat is, of course, the word she clung on to. Well, Miss May. Tisk tisk. Quite a show you've put on for us, Mr. Wright. You knew the clock was empty. You've forgotten one thing. Clock is empty, it can't ring. When was the clockwork removed? If it was after the witness heard the clock, then there's no contradiction. Clock might have been emptied after she heard it. That's what happened. Can you prove when the clockwork was removed? Ho ho, impossible, of course. I have proof. What? Wasn't it you who told me proof is everything? I'll show you the proof you like so much. The evidence that proves that when the clockwork was removed is the phone call. Oh, fuck me. Present. Take a look at this. That's a very cute cell phone. You have a girly phone. This isn't my phone. This is the defendant's cell phone and it contains a recording. A recording of a conversation she had with the victim on the day of the murder. The defendant's cell phone? This wasn't brought to my attention because this trial is rigged on both sides and stupid. Maybe Gumshoe overlooked it. Good detective better remember he's up for evaluation soon. Let's hear the conversation. I think this makes it clear that the clockwork was already gone by the time this was recorded, which was well before the witness even arrived at her hotel. Well, Miss May, would you care to explain this to the court? Just how did you know this weapon was a clock? Isn't it obvious? I saw that clock before. What was that store again? I go to so many. Oops, I forgot. Winky. Yes, I have an objection to that. Made by Larry Butts. This clock was never in any store. Ever. A friend of mine made that clock. Only two exist in the world. And the one that isn't here is in police custody. Everything is sold in stores. I think it's time you went shopping for a better excuse. Ugh. Excuse is not on sale today. Don't ruin it. What the hell? What's it to you, porcupine head? The stupid clock doesn't matter, okay? She did it, and she should die for it die. Whoa, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Court of law, and the witness will remain calm. Silly me. Did I, lose it? I guess I did. Tee-hee, wink. scary. Tell me, how did you know the weapon was a clock? Oh dear, does the defense have an opinion on this behavior? Yes, Your Honor. Allow me to explain how I see the truth of the matter. Miss April May, you knew the weapon was the clock because... I don't think she did the killing. You were told about it. She had heard that it was a clock. There's... I can show you the proof. Ah. Show me the evidence that the witness heard that the weapon was a clock. Her wiretap. Have a look at this. I found this in Miss May's room, because I'm totally allowed to go through random people's rooms and look at their stuff. What is it? You were tapping the victim, Miss Mia Fay's phone, were you not? Your Honor, this is irrelevant. I'm not entirely sure that it is. Objection overruled. It troubles me that our witness was in possession of a wiretap. It's outrageous. Does the defendant truly claim that the witness was tapping her phone? Absolutely. If that's the case, which is not, you still have to prove one thing. Did the victim ever say that the weapon was a clock on the phone? Can you prove that? I think not. I already did. Here's my proof. It's the same fucking message as before. The cell phone. Yes, we've seen that. Listen once more to the conversation. Oh my god, I'm not listening once more to the conversation. You used the wiretap to listen to this conversation. That's how you knew the thinker was a clock. Am I wrong? I mean, it's super conjecture, but this whole thing is super conjecture. This is ridiculous. Look at your witness's face. Does she seem amused to you? The defense demands an answer. Witness, answer the question. Did you tap her phone? Miss May. Shut up, all of you. I went too fast. Something, you lawyer. It's no fair, all of you ganging up on me like that. I'm a bad girl, is that it? The court's seen the real Miss April May now. Now to deal the final blow. I don't think she did it. Why did you tap her phone? Answer the question. Do I have to? In this a murder trial? Isn't tippity tapping irrelevant? She's saying exactly what Edgeworth wants her to say. You were tapping the victim's phone. I hardly call that irrelevant. Well, this court does not condone the defense's tone of voice. He has a point. Miss May, do you have an explanation before the court? Can you prove you had nothing to do with this murder, even though you tapped her phone? I saw that evil grin. You were probably thinking I'd like to see her pull that off, weren't you? Well, you're not the first man who's thought that. I can, and I will. The killing happened around 9 at night. That's just when I was getting room service from that sweet bellboy. Iced coffee, I believe it was. Like normal coffee, but cold. Iced coffee. I think I'm making this up. Ask the bellboy. The witness was not on the scene at the time of the murder. That's not what I'm saying happened, though. So where does that leave us? It's my great displeasure to inform you that the witness appears to have been tapping the victim's phone. However, that is a separate crime with no bearing on the current case. Her testimony stands. She saw the defendant commit murder. No, they're just going to let her walk away. There's no way I can win unless I tie Miss May to the murder somehow. I think it's the bellboy because he can talk about Mr. White, right? I object to calling the bellboy. Why? I hold that the wiretapping had nothing to do with the killing. If you agree to one condition, I'll consent to call this witness. If Miss April May's alibi is not called into question after you examine the bellboy, then you will recognize that Miss April May was not the killer. I don't believe she's the killer. That's fine. Those are two different things. I mean, I don't remember it being a coffee mug on her table. I remember it being wine glasses. Fuck it, whatever. Does he have drinks? Tea set looks rather heavy. I am the head bellboy at the fine Gatewater Hotel, in business for 4 generations. I received a call after 8 in the evening from our guest, Miss May. She asked for an iced coffee to be brought to her at 9 on the dot. I brought it to her at precisely the requested time, of course, and I delivered the iced coffee to our guest, Miss May herself. If I can't prove Miss May was involved in the murder now, Maya will be finished. So I want him to talk about the fact that she was with another person. I don't know where I should press for that. It's also weird that he brought it to her, like, that she wanted it at exactly 9 o'clock, but I don't disagree that that happened. So, was she the only guest? Absolutely by herself. It's an endearing mannerism of mine. How come you're so certain? When I brought the room service, she favored me with an embrasse, sir. Is that French for embrace? It's French for kiss, sir, but not a French kiss, sir. More of a peck on the cheek. Why would she have done that? Momentarily swayed by my prim demeanor. Alright. It was a moment I shall never ever forget. Miss May was up to something and wanted the bellboy to remember her. How often do guests ask for something to be brought at a specific time? 9 on the dot. Yes, confirmed that detail several times. She was watching a program on TV and wished to drink after she finished. The time of the murder. Finally, you understand this bellboy has absolutely no reason to lie. If you have any decency, you will end this cross-examination here. But there were 2 guests, right? One last question. Let me ask one last question. Charade has gone on long enough. One more question. Check-in, room service, or bed making? Check-in because there were 2 people? Tell me about when you checked in, Miss May. She's beautiful. Just my type of girl. So I was disappointed. Yay! Why were you disappointed? I am not without charm, but I'd have little chance with her lover there. What did you say? Rather quite. Tell us the truth now. Did Miss May check in with another person? I would object. That was objectionable. Excellent, excellent. Oh my god, this is already these are not... Okay. Objection overruled. The question will answer the question. Yes. Why did you not mention this in your testimony? You didn't ask? That's the sort of thing you're normally supposed to mention. It was the good barrister here, Mr. Edgeworth. He asked me not to mention it if I wasn't specifically asked. Motherfucker. I've done it. I've won. It seems premature. Miss April May checked into a twin room with a man, correct? Then when you brought the room service, you didn't see the man in the room. That's right. Your Honor, we have just learned of another person involved who may have been the murderer. In light of this new fact, I hold that it's impossible to judge the defendant. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth? And who is this other person? It was... the man with Miss May. The man who checked in with Miss May. As had been previously revealed, Miss April May was tapping the victim's phone. Yet Miss May herself has an alibi at the time of the murder. However, that man does not. The bellboy saw no one else in the room at the time of the murder. Too late. I suppose you'd like if it was too late, wouldn't you? It was you who hid the presence of another man from this court. These accusations are ludicrous. The court acknowledges the defense's argument. I expect the prosecution and defense to look into this matter fully. Am I understood? Yes, Your Honor. That's all for today for the trial of my affair. Court is adjourned. Wow, so we're not even finishing today. We gotta go on and go some more at this. Alright. These trials take a long time, actually. This is only the second one. And we spent like 40 minutes in discovery and 40 minutes on the first half of the trial, and now we're going to have more trial. I think I'm going to finish there for now. You can like this video, subscribe for more, follow me at twitter.com/arrest. Fuck me, I can't even talk. Follow me at twitter.com/Orestria, or you can come talk to me in the Tales from My D&D campaign Discord. Link in the doobly-doo. See you next time. Bye-bye.